Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm here with a vlog, and it has been a minute since I made a vlog. And yeah, I pretty much took the entire year off of making videos and still focused on Instagram content. But yeah, I stopped making YouTube videos. I don't really know why. I got involved with track stuff on the bike. And those of you that know that have been following my page, I've had a few bikes in the past year or so, and I really kind of want to get back into the swing of things by talking about track riding a bike and how it compares to tracking a car. And that's probably one of the biggest eye-opening experiences for me in the past probably 10 years of doing car things. I think at a certain point as a car enthusiast, you've done the car meets, you've done the car events, the big events, the small events, the parking lot meets, the Facebook group hangouts or, group chat hangouts, doing all that stuff, the track days, autocross. I did it all, right? I traveled across the US to go to car meets. I went to my vehicle specific car events growing up in my 20s and even into my 30s, just doing those things. So when I picked up the bike, it was like a whole new world, right? A bunch of new friends, meeting new people, and just kind of experiencing all the things that I experienced in my 20s, but experiencing it as a new person, right, in the hobby. Like, I think after a certain period of time, you kind of get bored. You might enjoy going out for a drive, but like things can get stale, right, in any relationship with a hobby, right? So when I got the first Grom, things accelerated pretty quickly. I did the Grom stuff. We went to Barber Small Bore, had a great time. And then eventually I was like, you know what? I want a big bike. I got the big bike. I got an FZ6R. If you've been following this channel for a while, you probably saw that video of where I took the FZ6R out and did like a moto vlog. It was fun. It's just something that I can't realistically like sustain very often just because I'm just busy doing other stuff, right? So when I had the FZ6R, I was like, you know what? I really want to start doing track stuff with a bike, right? And I wanted to track a certain bike that I think was designed for track use. And all my research, it didn't point, some of the things pointed me to a CBR 600RR, which fantastic bike, by the way. This is Julie's bike. So this is mine. I've had this R6 for about, it's over a year now, and I've done quite a lot of work to it. It's tuned. It needs a little bit more work after the track season this year, but I've added quite a lot. I've added a lot of carbon fiber on the swing arm, carbon frame, carbon intake, which these came in today. So I added those. Just carbon everywhere. It has a DaVinci S gauge cluster. So if you look here, it's got an aftermarket gauge cluster that shows you track telemetry. It shows you RPMs, it shows you your gear, all that good stuff. So I've spent a little bit of money on this bike since owning it that has made it a little bit more than just your standard type of R6 that you would encounter on the street. Now, tracking a car versus tracking a bike. Now, when you track a car, you're sitting inside your own space, right? Now, when you're on a bike, you don't have that. You're basically sitting on an engine with two wheels and two levers, your clutch and your brake. Now, car track day, if you're just starting out, you'll sign up, you'll have maybe 15 or so other cars with you out on track. You're going to have instructors. You're inside your car. You're comfortable with it. But when I went into the track days with a bike, I always was like, going into it, I was like, should I do novice class on a bike? Do novice? I've done, 20, 30 some track days. I've done multiple mountain runs in a car. I know how track days work. I know how, what brake zones are. I know what apexes are. I know how to drive. Like, I know how to drive. I'm a decent driver. So hopping on a bike, It should be pretty easy, right? Like it's similar. You get used to it. Boy, was I absolutely wrong. I remember distinctly hopping on the bike and my nerves were shot. I don't think anything can prepare you for the feeling that you'll get as soon as you go out on grid and you're sitting on this machine. Like you are just sitting on top of this thing with your hands down on the bars, no mirrors, which by the way, a lot of you guys might not know if you're into the car world, track days, you have mirrors on a car, right? This is basically what you're running when you're at the track. No headlights, you got your headlights taped up, your mirrors are taken off, your taillights taped up. You basically just have your senses. And you basically just have your senses to look behind you, to hear other bikes around you. It is sensory overload. That coupled with just the amount of like actual physical danger you feel on your first track day, because there's probably like 25, 30 people on the track with you at the same time. My first track day was AMP. They had a ton of bikes out with me. I think they had 3 rows of like 12 people. It was just a lot of people. I ran with Precision Track Days, had a great time, had some friends with me, and it was a blast. But like I said, going out your first time on the track, you're going to be nervous. It's nothing like car stuff. And I got to say, those guys that track on their bikes, I respect track bike racers a lot. I'm not trying to put down car enthusiasts like at all, but it's more physically demanding on your body tracking on a bike. There's way more that you have to pay attention to on a bike. Way more things can go wrong on a bike than a car track day. And I think that in itself, everybody's different, but that in itself, to me, makes it more fun to track a bike than it does track a car. Now, if you gave me the option, if for a free track day on a bike versus a free track day in a car, I will 100% tell you every time I would rather do it on a bike than I would a car. So the other thing is, I've been tracking cars for a long time, and one of the big things that I noticed is more and more track days that I did, I was like, yeah, I noticed I'm getting a little bit better. I could chase a little bit more PB. You know, I can go for a personal best. I did 3 track days this year on a bike. I've only done 3. I'm still in novice class. No shame in that. Like, I don't really care. I'm still a novice. I haven't been checked, right, to get bumped up yet, but I don't personally feel like I'm there yet. I would say maybe after like 4 more track days, I think I could probably get bumped up to intermediate. I have a really deep understanding of apexes, entry speeds, braking zones, all that stuff, you know, lines on a track. I have a good understanding of that. It's just applying it onto a bike is completely different, and it's way more rewarding. My second and third track day, I noticed little improvements. You know, that the first time I went out on a track and on this bike, I was so stiff. I was so nervous, just not really getting off my bike. You know, body position is a big thing. I just was not good. And I'm still not great. I'm still not good, what I would consider good. But I'm getting there. So next year, I'm going to be entered more on the bike for track days. And honestly, guys, I'm still doing the overland stuff. The garage door is closed because it's a little cold outside. I'm still doing the track days. I'm still doing the overland stuff. I'm still doing a lot of things that I've been doing, and that's why my time's been spread a little bit thin as far as, you know, doing videos. Instagram is easy, right? Instagram is not that time consuming. I'd rather take photos than do video, but you know, I've gotten my channel in the past 15 years up to 10,000 to not even do a lot of great videos compared to some of these folks. But I just want to say I appreciate you guys that are still around, that still check out my videos. I've grown a lot in the past like 15, 17 years of just doing enthusiast level stuff as far as anything automotive, and now the bikes. Now, what's next year going to bring? Who knows? The garage is a little bit of a mess just because I'm kind of reorganizing a lot of stuff in here. But here's the Grom. The Grom has had a bit of work done to it since we've owned it. This is Julie's bike. It's had a little bit of work done since we've owned it. She's done a track day with the ladies and liked it. So yeah, I've got a lot of video ideas. It's hard for me, and it makes me feel like, is it even worth doing if nobody watches my content, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. Instagram has been really shitty as far as who sees my posts. It's a different world than when I built my Instagram, which I don't care. The people that I interact with every day on Instagram or once in a while on Instagram, they see my stuff. We interact. None of this social media stuff is something that I take to heart, just because Instagram to me is more like a scrapbook of my life and my experiences and the things that I share with you guys, so that hopefully maybe someday somebody can get some benefit out of it, or get some advice from me that that helps them. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna make more videos, and I know I've said that before. I think it's time for me to start making videos, whether it's just vlogging daily stuff, whatever you guys want to see. If somebody leaves a comment, that'd be awesome. Let me know you guys still watch it. I know most of you follow me for the Ranger stuff, but yeah, we are making a transition, continuing making a transition into the bike world. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Take it easy. Bye.